My friends, a lot has happened since yesterday. I got the Kay Kraft finished, got the Bobcat unstuck, and I may want to give you an update about the products I use page and much more. We'll tell you all about it right after this. Hello my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks Workshop. It is Tuesday, February 21st, which means we will be playing this evening at Dickey's Barbecue in Rolla, Missouri. Come join us if you can. We always have a good time. Not to mention, it's good food too. So I did get the Kay Kraft finished yesterday and it worked out really good. The setup gods were with me and it just worked out perfect. I mean, you know, I was pretty much guessing on the neck angle because that's about all I had with this metal thing over the top here. You know, I guess I could have taken this metal cover off. It's just too much hassle. So I was just guessing at the neck angle, and I guess I guessed really well because the action turned out to be right at 80 thousandths here, and I've dropped it way down up here to about 17, 16 thousandths, something like that. So it's in very, very good shape. It plays really good, and I'll play a little segment on it that I pre-recorded yesterday. Well, I couldn't be much happier with this thing the way it turned out. I finally got a break. Something turned out easy for a change instead of hard. Anyway, that all worked out great, and I was tickled that it did because I can move on to the next project. And I told you I'd show you the next project today, so let's do that right now. So what is that next project? Well, it's a Martin D28. I believe it's a 1971 issue. Nice guitar, up in pretty good shape. And for the most part, it's just a setup. Let me just read to you what I wrote down that we need to do. He said there's new strings in the case. He wants me to file through the underbow on the bass side. So, and I can't remember where that's at, but I do remember. Yeah, there's an underbow right in here. There's kind of a hump right in here. So we're going to clean that up and make it all work out. This has a non-adjustable truss rod, so you can't really do much more than that. You pretty much got to make it work the way you got to make it work. Now, if it was a big underbow, you could put larger fret tangs in here, and that would pull out a lot of the underbow. But I don't think we have to go to that extreme in this case. He wants a new saddle, so we're going to put in a antler saddle, and he wants me to remove the pickup. So just a general setup, really, and remove the pickup and make it play good. That's what we're going to do. So that's the next project in line, and I doubt I'll get started on it today, but hopefully I will get started on it by tomorrow. I mentioned that I got the Bobcat unstuck. Well, the word I really didn't apply in this case because it was my son that actually got it unstuck. I just meant that it's my Bobcat, I own it, and it's unstuck when I said I. But anyway, my son and his son, my grandson Isaac, they worked together and got it out. They did not use the big bulldozer. They used their four-wheel drive truck. And what he did was he tilted the Bobcat up with the bucket, put a big long log under the one tread that was the most stuck, and hooked on with the four-wheel drive truck and pulled it out, and it worked just fine. And he got it out, no problem, he said. So that worked out good. I'm glad that's done, and I don't have to deal with it. Yesterday, or sometime in the recent past, I think on the last Shop Talk also, I may have told you, I was talking about how to see the products on the Products I Use page. Whenever the products aren't shown there, typically I think of it as being a problem with the Chrome browser. So I told you to go through these steps and change these settings, which I do also have listed on that page now. So those steps are there. I stand by that. I still think that that's fine to do that. The only thing I'll add on those steps is after you're done viewing my page, you might want to go back in and set those settings back to the way they were. Because at least a couple of PC gurus have told me that I'm telling you to disable security. Truly, I don't think so. I really don't. I think I'm telling you that you can see images. I don't think that's much of a security risk. I have done that on my own PC. I haven't had any problem. I've had it done that way for a couple of years now. What the PC gurus are saying is that it's an ad blocker situation, that you need to turn off your ad blocker. Well, except for that, in my case, I didn't have any ad blockers on my PCs. So there was nothing to turn off. So I still stand by the fact that I think it is a fine fix, and I looked on different videos and things, and people said to do that. So that's why I say that's the right fix. But let me make this official. The first thing to try if you're having trouble seeing the products I use on the Products I Use page is to turn off your ad blocker if you have one and then check it. Keep in mind, you may have to refresh the page because Chrome keeps a memory of what you've already accessed, and it's going to make it look the same. So you need to click that little circle with the arrow on it in the upper left corner. You just click that. That refreshes the page. If that doesn't work, if you still don't see the images after turning off your ad blocker, then I would recommend you turn your ad blocker back on. Then go try a different browser. And if you can access it with a different browser, then and it's working just fine, then no problem. Just do it that way if that's what you need to do. The third solution would be the one that I recommended to you already, and that is to go through the steps and which are listed on that page, and I will amend that page to tell you everything I just told you. So anyway, those are the three options. Turn off your ad blocker, try a different browser, or go through those steps that I said to do, which would allow the images. So there you go. Now I'm clear. My conscience is clean. I can sleep tonight. It doesn't really matter what you say. If I say black, somebody's going to say white, and vice versa. And it's the same way with all the safety gurus these days. It's all relative to what you're used to, I guess. Just like when we used to be kids and ride in the back of the pickup truck between the hay fields, like we'd go gather hay, throw it in the barn, and then go get the next load of hay. We'd be going down the highway 70 miles an hour, standing up in the back of the pickup truck, holding on to the front cab lights so that you could get enough air to cool off. If you even sat in the back of a pickup truck these days, you'd get arrested, I think. Oh my gosh, it's a wonder I lived to be this old. But anyway, you've been warned, and I've told you. Now, if it's a security risk, it's on you. I don't think it's a security risk what I told you to do, because turning on images isn't a whole big thing about security. If you don't want to see the images, turn them back off. That's pretty much the way I look at it. Everybody's got an opinion, and you've heard mine. I took off a little while yesterday afternoon and went up to the old house that's here in the front of the property, not the ones in the back. This is the one up here at the side. And I thought, I'm going to search that yard again. I've searched it quite a few times, and I have found quite a few coins. But this time I thought, I'm going to go ahead and dig up all the shell casings, bullet casings, because you can tell there's a bunch of them in the ground because you're just getting signals everywhere. And I didn't count them. I should have counted them to tell you, but I would say I dug more than 50, easily more than 50. It's possible 100. I just dug a big pocket full of them yesterday. Like they're just the brass casing left over from either from the pistols or from the rifles or whatever that have been shot up there in that old yard. And it wasn't me doing the shooting, just so you know. I mean, it was pre-me. I am way behind on orders. If you've got an order in here and you're waiting on it to be shipped, I'll get it shipped today. I've got to get in there and get on that. Well, I guess the very last thing is that according to everybody yesterday, they think the video chats would be a good possibility. Now the only thing I got to figure out is how do I schedule them? How do I make it work with the limited time I have and all that kind of thing. So I'll give it some more thought, but hopefully we'll get that started before too long. If you have any good ideas on any of that, be sure to put it in the comments or send me a direct email if you think you've got a really good idea that I need to hear about how to schedule these Zoom one-on-one conference calls. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you tomorrow.